Hello, and welcome to a new episode of your favorite show on the internet, Guitar Chat. My favorite too, for sure. This is Guitar Chat, and of course, this is brought to you by Vegatrem, the best tremolo systems in the world. And today we are doing our number 66th. We've been doing this for 66 times already. Yeah, well, I can't believe it. I don't know how you're doing in your side of the world, but here in Spain, it's already super hot. We're almost in the summer, and you can tell because, it's very hot out there. But anyway, I just want everybody to have a good time with us. I hope you find this content interesting. If you do so, please give us a like and hit that subscription button, because besides having a good time with us, it has its perks. For instance, you can enter our giveaway. We are doing a t-shirt giveaway, one of these exclusive Vegatrem t-shirts. And the only thing you have to do to enter this giveaway is to be subscribed to our YouTube channel and to leave a comment in any of our shows. That's the only thing you need to do. If you don't like YouTube, if you are more a Facebook kind of guy or girl, totally fine as well. You can hit us, you can hit like on our Facebook page as well and leave a comment there, and that way you will also enter our t-shirt giveaway. So right now I'm gonna say the name of the winner of last show. His name is Jaimomo65. El ganador es Jaimomo65 por un comentario desde YouTube. Muchas gracias y enhorabuena. Nos pondremos en contacto contigo para enviarte esta camiseta a tu casa. Congratulations and thank you so much. We're going to get in touch with you to send you one of these t-shirts to your place. We also have a discount code that it's going to be displayed here at the lower part of the screen. And with that discount code, you can go to our website, make your purchase. When it's time to check out, the only thing you have to do is to type that discount code, and you're going to get a 15% off on your purchase, which is, in my opinion, very cool, very amazing. This discount code is going to be available for the next 48 hours after the broadcast of the show. And we also have, this is my favorite part of the show, we have the Vegatrem Challenge. You want to know what it is? Check this out. If you play guitar and want to be part of the Vegatrem family, listen to this. We are introducing the Vegatrem Challenge. Each month, we will propose a piece of music for you to play. It could be a lick, a phrase, a riff, etc. You will have to learn it and make it your own. You can use it in any way you want. You can change the tempo, you can change the fingering, change the key, change the harmony. We want you to be yourself. Each month we will announce a new Vegatrem challenge. Once you learn it, you can start making your video. Then follow these steps. Number 1, follow us on Instagram. Number 2, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Number 3, tag us on your video. Number 4, use the hashtag Vegatrem Challenge. Among all the participants, we will choose the best one, and the winner will have a brand new VT1 for their guitar. The name of the winner will be revealed on the first edition of each month on our podcast, Guitar Chat. Are you ready? Well, don't miss this and grab your guitar. Okay, that's the Vegatrem Challenge, and for this month, the month of June, we have the amazing, marvelous guitar player, Mr. Sergio Rivas, who was kind enough to send us his challenge. He's playing a passage of one of his songs from his latest record, A Day in My Consciousness. I really recommend you to check it out. Let's hear Sergio's challenge. Remember, you can participate and you still have the rest of this month of June. So, yeah. this episode of Guitar Chat, we will meet Jeff Stinco, lead guitarist of the iconic pop-punk band Simple Plan. With interesting insights into their journey, creative process, and fun connections, Jeff shares the essence of their success. We explore his songwriting skills, the effect of thinking outside the box, and his perspective on the ever-changing music industry. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jeff Stinco.
You're the antidote.
Well, hello. Welcome to Guitar Chat. We are here again in a new edition, this time with Mr. Jeff Stinco, lead guitar
What's going on?
Yeah, that's right. Thanks for being here, man. And we're very, very excited to have you. You're the lead guitar player for Simple Plan, the Canadian pop punk band, and I've been looking forward to doing this for a long time already. So I'm very.
We've been talking about it. So sorry for the delay. I'm all over the map right now.
Well, that's always good news, and I'm happy that you are all the time like moving around. But it's exciting because I've known you for almost a year now. I think. We've been exchanging emails. And it's very exciting because last September 2022, I got to see you live here in Spain, in Madrid, and you guys were phenomenal. You guys were doing this very, very long tour, and I was mesmerized. It was very, very cool, man. I really had a good time watching you guys.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. It's fun. We have a great time doing it. We're at a place right now where it needs to be fun. It's like we're celebrating 23 years of being in a band. Our fans are stoked. We love music, so it's a really, really good time for us.
Man, that I could tell that you guys were having a blast. All the fans around me were having a blast too, I was myself having a blast too. It was just the songs that you guys were super, super tight. And then after the show, I talked to you and you told me that you guys didn't rehearse or anything because you guys don't need it anymore, right?
I'm slightly ashamed of that actually. But really? It's the problem that we have is that two of our guys are in California.
Oh, okay.
And Sebastian and I, the other guitar player in my band, and I live in Montreal. So getting together is always a bit of a trouble. So we always tell ourselves we're going to land in Europe, a week before the tour, and then we get caught up in life and we don't make it happen, and then we just go in and do it. But yeah, we've been playing those songs for a long time. Even the newer songs, actually it's very exciting to play a new song. So you rehearse a lot at home, and. Of course. And now you have all the technology, you have the stems of the drums, you have the bass and everything, And then I'm like, can I get an extra guitar solo? And everybody's like, no.
So do you have to fight your way into guitar solos all the time or not?
Sure, absolutely. It's kind of funny because over the years, and I'm making jokes about this because I love what I play in the band. And it's funny, I've had like kids tell me online, do you know how to play rhythm guitar? Which is kind of funny. I'm like, yeah, I play 90% rhythm guitar, but that's what we all do, right? Like most of the time you're playing, you're playing the background music, which is normal, it's rock, pop, whatever the genre is, it's very vocal oriented. So, and you just try to fit in there, you find little spots to do counter melodies, pull arpeggios, anything you could figure out, to kind of go in. And guitar solos are sort of an old beast, it's the 80s, the 70s, sort of a ethos, but we all love them, and now it's kind of cool because the younger generation of music lovers haven't heard guitar solos very much.
That's right.
So to them it's exciting. So now it's about finding a way, to revamp the guitar solo, find new ways, and it's an exciting moment. There's great ideas out there. So you just, you try to be creative doing something that could sound dated, but that shouldn't, because there's so many ways to do it, So the guys have actually allowed me to play a guitar like an actual, cock rock guitar solo in the middle of the set. And oddly enough, people love it. It's crazy.
Man, I remember I was there. You totally killed it,
Doing the Yngwie Malmsteen little thing.
No, but it was super cool. And also, let me tell you something, because of course, I was surrounded by people, and there was a lot of young people around me. I think I was the oldest, in the area. So I was like, man, this is cool, because it's exciting to see kids, enjoying this music and having fun with guitar-based music, which is
and you have to remember too, like, music has to belong to the youth. It has to. Even when I see newer bands that are kicking ass, obviously, sometimes I'm a little jealous, but oftentimes I'm actually stoked for the genre, for music, because every time you see like a guitar heavy band, it's basically allowing us to perpetuate, the thing that we love. And seeing young kids at our shows is pretty incredible. And that's all, TikTok, Instagram, the playlists, it's all that. Obviously, we have a lot of fans that have been there, for a long time, but I'm so stoked that it's not, a decaying audience, getting grayer with the years, or no hair with the years. It's really, really young. It's renewing, and it's so exciting. And there's a lot of kids that take up guitar, not only because of my band, but because of the genre.
That's right. I mean, it's something very, very exciting. I think guitar music is still cool, even though it's not a massive thing anymore, like it used to be in the 80s or in the 70s. But it's still something cool. And I mean, just once you open Instagram or TikTok or whatever, you see like this massive wave of super talented kids, killing it on the guitar, and I'm so happy to see that.
Same. And I just always wonder, like, I'm like, is this because I'm in sort of an echo chamber where I'm just hearing guitar because I love guitar, and nobody, and I'm like, sometimes I talk about Tom Bukovac, and people are like, who's that? I'm like, dude, he's the greatest. Like, what are you talking about? Like, he kicks ass, and he's had that whole thing since the pandemic, and people are like, I don't know who he is. And then you realize that there is an audience that's very captive. There's obviously, he's the guitar player's guitar player.
That's right.
Like the ultimate. But there are, there are Greta Van Fleet, for instance, exposing, a very young audience to Led Zeppelin, but to sort of which is fine, paying tribute. I love bands that own their influences,
Of course. Yeah.
It's fine. We know where it came from, but it's new to the newer generation, and they're kicking ass, like really, really doing it right. So I'm excited whenever I hear like a newer band that's kicking ass, playing rock music, playing guitar, even the blues. I saw that tribute there, the Jeff Beck tribute. Gary Clark Jr. Holy moly.
Oh yeah.
That was insane, man. That's some like next level playing.
You know what?
Exciting to me.
It's very exciting, and I was and actually, I got lucky enough to see Gary Clark, like I think it was 12, 13 years ago in Austin, Texas, in a very, very
you
small,
were there, right?
I was there. Yeah, I was there in a very, very small venue, and he wasn't famous yet, but I knew already that he was gonna get big, because
he had that it thing, that But it's crazy though. Like, I've seen him too, like around the same time you did, probably 10 years, not 13. And I thought he was great. But when I heard him recently, I'm like, holy shit, he's got a voice.
Oh yeah.
When suddenly you hear a guitar player playing and not sounding like everybody else, you're like, holy shit. It's still possible with the same 6 strings to express something different. It's very exciting when you see that.
What do you think about bands like Polyphia, things like that, or Animals as Leaders, this super technical new kind of sound? Do you like it? Do you enjoy that kind of style or not?
No, I do. Actually, I saw Polyphia live. We were playing some city, and they were playing the next venue over, and I went to see him, which kind of surprised me. I love the music. I think it's really technical. It's hard for me to listen to a full record, to be very honest.
Okay.
I usually listen to it, online. I loved the videos of playing God. I'm like, holy shit. I learned the piece too. I thought it was exciting,
Okay.
I slowed it down, gradually raised it, the old school way.
Of course.
And it was very exciting. But seeing the show live was great because there were girls at the show. I was like, it's only going to be video playing guitar players. It wasn't. So I think that's cool. It's like, to me, that shows a renewal again of the genre of guitar music. And I think they've overstepped that too. It's not only guitar music anymore. Animals as Leader is more like, to me, the dream theater of prog rock guitar, world. And I think, it's great. It's exciting. Even Metallica, new record, charting, great tours. These ultra big bands that are doing niche things, we need them in general. It's healthy for music, in general. For guitar music, definitely. Kirk Hammett talking about every new guitar that he buys, $2 million guitar, It's like, I'm like, again, you bought another verse, you shitty human being. No, but it's good for the industry, It makes people excited, and they, obviously they sell a lot of guitars to dentists and doctors. But
lawyers and people like that. Yeah,
but we need them. We need them to keep, the whole world alive. It's too bad that they're raising the prices of vintage guitars, but that's another story.
Well, probably we will have to blame Joe Bonamassa because of that.
Yeah, he's got everything, right?
Because if you follow him on Instagram, it's like crazy, man.
I know.
Every week he purchases like these crazy super vintage Les Pauls and Strats and Tellys, and he must have the biggest collection in the world, probably.
Probably, but good for him.
That's right, yeah.
And we all geek out and we're all drooling, right, on his channel.
Well, he can play them, that's for sure.
That's right. Which is cool, Like, finally, you got a collector that plays at that level, right?
That's right. Yeah. Because every time he picks up a guitar and it's like, I just bought this one too. Like, yesterday I bought this one and he's playing it. And it's like, man, it's almost like you've had that guitar for all your life, It's crazy.
And it's a skill set, playing with vintage guitars, and you change them a lot because, the frets are low. It's the action is sometimes a bit higher than on a flat radius. It's always tricky, and he's like, no problem.
That's right. That's right. It doesn't matter, the action or the fingerboard radius or whatever.
Or we think that, and maybe he's got like a full mechanical room of techs, setting everything up. I don't know. I like to think that. It makes me feel better about playing those vintage guitars at that level.
Yeah, man, it's incredible. It's very cool. Well, let me go back because we started talking about guitars. We're super excited already. I am, at least, super excited. But I want to ask you about your band, Simple Plan, because you just told me earlier that you guys started 23 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And you guys, if I'm not mistaken, you guys met in high school. Is that right?
That's right. So we started a band that was called Roach when we were very young.
Okay.
We were not stoners, but we kind of thought it was a romantic idea, And we had this band for a few years. And then my dad was like, if you're going to keep playing music, you have to learn it properly. So you got to go to music school. And I'm like, really? So it was my dad really wanted me to be educated in music. So I went to to the conservatory. I studied classical music for 10 years. Mm-hmm. And the guys basically resetted the band and started a new band called Reset. And they toured on a very sort of hardcore niche market, across Canada and the US.
Okay.
And they started fighting because we were high school friends, So we were lugging our baggage, with us.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was a lot of fighting. So on one of these tours, they kind of broke up. And a few years later, I'm like, I love classical music. I thought it was great, but I had that itch to get back to electric guitar, So I called up my drummer, which got kicked out of the band by my singer. And he's like, And I'm like, dude, we should start something. I've got some songs, let's try this. And he's like, oh, dude, I don't want to do this. I want to be a lawyer now. And I'm like, give me a few weekends, let's see how that goes. And I kicked him into like full motivation mode again. And oddly enough, the singer came back, and the three of us were the core of Roach, and we just came back and kept doing it. And eventually Sebastian, who was the younger brother of my very close friend, joined us, and that's how it started,
Uh-huh. Okay, so from a couple of high school kids, you guys started making songs, and I guess making playing live, trying to book gigs, and then how the whole super becoming a superstar band, like one of the biggest pop bands in the world. How did that happen?
It's funny because you always, like it's steps, right? It's increments, it doesn't happen overnight. But when you look at it, it did happen over 4 years. It was short. 4 years is not that long.
Oh, wow.
So basically the way it started, we were playing shows around town, but not very much. We actually focused on recording demos and songwriting, recording. That was really what we were into. We all had little studios, but we had a friend of ours that had like a really nice studio. And he recorded us in the early days. And eventually, like, we knew people that worked in record companies around here. And at some point, I stole a book called The Yellow Pages of Rock in one of those. It was like a $300 book that only the industry people had. And it was the directory for all the A&R people. Back then, the way it worked is that you had to send your music to record labels, but you had to address it to the proper person. So the person would listen to it, So we sent hundreds, and I'm not exaggerating, hundreds of packages. And my drummer pretended to be the manager of this grand band in Montreal, very known band in Montreal. So we sent out those packages, and oddly enough, we got some answers rather quickly. And people would tell us, let's hear more songs. We get in the studio, record 3 songs, 2 weeks later, send them out. More songs, do it again. So we recorded tons of music that way. We were very motivated. At some point, we actually took a car, we rented a car. We were in Montreal. We drove 8 hours to New York, 6 hours, whatever it was. And we started knocking on doors. And the guy who eventually signed us much later is the first guy that we met.
Okay.
Andy Karp. Andy Karp was like, you know what? You guys kind of have something, and you got balls. Just in the middle of the winter, just coming to New York, to meet industry people. And that's kind of how it started. And I'll tell you, like, the real genesis of the whole thing is at some point, Andy Karp comes to Montreal to sign another act, not Simple Plan, another band. We hear about it. So we tell him, oh shit, we got a show on the same night. How is that possible? What a weird coincidence. He's like, oh, I'll come see you guys. We didn't have a show. We booked the show. We made it happen. We packed the room with our friends, and we bought them beers. So all our friends, by the time Andy Karp came in, they were all drunk, very rowdy.
And having a blast, I guess.
They loved it. So Andy comes in, and we had to be careful because we couldn't play all night. We only had like 10 songs.
Okay.
So as soon as Andy came in, our friend told us, and we started playing.
Wow.
But everybody was already drunk, so everything was crazy. So Andy's like, you know what? If you guys are this successful in Montreal, I could reproduce this elsewhere.
Yeah.
It was all our friends, So it's funny, you kind of have to be creative in every way you approach things. I don't know that anything like that could happen nowadays, but you could build something crazy online now and kind of fake it till you make it,
That's right. Yeah. I mean, that was for sure a bold move, very, very, very. It's incredible, man, that you guys had the guts to do that, to go all the way to New York and then back in your town doing all that and calling all your friends and everything. How old were you guys there then? How old?
19, 20? Early 20s. Yeah, we were really young. We kind of it's funny because now I like to think that we visualized everything that we wanted. It was almost as if we were too stupid to understand that it was not possible. It was just like, it had to happen. And even like after, when we did get signed, it wasn't as if, oh shit, big check, you guys are done. No, they were very conservative. It was like not a crazy advance. We didn't get a lot of money, but we reinvested the whole money into touring. We didn't take anything. So we basically went back on the road, and then we toured for 3 years nonstop. We even played, at some point, my drummer knew Mark Hoppus from Blink-182.
Okay.
And he told them, if you let us play the parking lot before the festival, it was a festival where it was like Green Day, Blink, and a bunch of amazing bands, And Chuck's like, you know what? If you allow us to play the parking lot while people are walking into the show, we'll follow your tour everywhere, and we're going to do that. And Mark's like, sure. Like, where do I sign? Yeah. So we did that, and it was kind of cool because we had like Walkmans back then. You didn't have, anything very remotely sophisticated. So we would play CDs of our songs. We would watch cute girls in the crowd, and we would be like, hey, listen to our band. We're playing at 7. You want to catch the set? And we would just gather like so much people that at some point Blink noticed that it was kind of a big thing, and they brought us and made us play on the big stage. And from there, like the buzz kind of got around. MTV started playing the videos very late at night, but we had built an audience. So the audience would call and request our songs, and then MTV started playing it successfully.
Okay.
And that's how it started. A lot of bands start with radio and all that stuff. We started with MTV. We were definitely MTV darlings first,
That's right. That's right. Man, it's wonderful. The whole story seems to me like some people could make a pretty good movie about you guys. Yeah. I really think so, because of course nowadays the whole music industry is completely different, but that story is so exciting, like playing in the parking lots, like using the Walkmans, to make the crowd listening to you guys. It's awesome, man.
And we were so unpolitically correct because we were actually giving t-shirts to cute girls, because our thing was like, if a cute girl wears a Simple Plan t-shirt in town, people are going to be like, oh shit, that band's got to be good.
Oh yeah.
So we would give free t-shirts to cute girls at shows. We were stupid, but stupid. But at the same time, every time something came up, an opportunity rose, we would jump on it.
That's right.
We were very naive and ready to do anything. We would play 300 plus shows a year. That's a lot of shows.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Everywhere. We played, around that time we would do great in the US, great in Canada, and we played Germany 12 people.
Okay.
But we went back.
Yeah.
Went back. And I don't know how you do it nowadays. I think nowadays you have to be like almost a businessman, a businesswoman, and just be online and just really work hard. I think online is really still where it's at. And you have to be creative at making videos, your presence, the way you present yourself. And the music has got to be great.
Oh yeah. I mean, you guys have a bunch of very, very memorable songs. These super powerful choruses that everyone can sing. And they stay in your mind. Like I guess if you're a teenager, when you hear that, that's gonna accompany you for the rest of your life. And it's very, very interesting. And also, I mean, recently you guys had this TikTok trend as well, with I'm Just a Kid, which was super successful as well, and that's the proof, right? It's very, very infectious music, right?
It's always about we love the fact that you could, in our genre, you could be like sort of a medium player and just grab a guitar through a really loud amp and just kind of play the song, That's what appealed when we were younger. When we heard Green Day, we were like, shit.
Yeah.
4 chords and I could play all the songs? Hell yeah, I'm in, And we wanted to do sort of the same thing, but we also love pop music, Like we love Joe Jackson, the Beatles, Elvis Costello. We love great melodies, quirky melodies. And it's always been sort of a goal of ours to find the balance between the stupid nursery rhyme,
that's right,
and a good enough melody that will stick in your head, but not necessarily kind of drive you insane, you know? It's
Yes.
sort of it's a difficult art. It's a lot of balancing, and yeah, and I think that's what we do. It's sort of like big guitars, big drums, very big melodies, hooks that you remember. So it's all about the hook. The songs are built around the hooks. There's no doubt about that.
That's right. Well, it's very important to have that very clear in your mind, because otherwise, probably it wouldn't have been as successful as it has been.
Yeah.
It's very important to know when you have a hook, right? When you have something that's really memorable, and go for it. And I think you guys do it perfectly. Very,
Thank
very
you.
well. Yeah.
And it's also like the idea also, like musically, is also to dress it up, arrange it the right way as well, because we have tried over the years, to bring electronic elements to the music, and it's such a delicate balance where you don't sound like your band anymore. You sound contrived, you sound forced. And I think, on our third record, which is a very beloved record amongst our fans, but we have probably pushed the envelope a little too far, where it just didn't sound like Simple Plan anymore. Or, the songs were not exactly in the right genre. But I think that now we know our place. We know, even with the new music, that's, like our fans are loving it. We are not going to get on the radio anytime soon. It's not the game anymore. Our thing is, we want to make sure that our fans are still excited about the band, that we give them music that they could still bite their teeth in, I think that's important. So now it's about making us happy, where we hear electronic elements. We hear, bands that have crazy guitar ideas. We, loops, drums, and we want to bring them into the music with the right attitude. You still have to keep you have to remember who you are.
Well,
and balance it right.
That's right. That's what I call mastering your craft. I mean, because of course you have to stay engaged to your to the stuff that you're doing, but also without losing your identity. And this is what you said. Of course, you can apply certain new things to keep it excited, but at the same time you have to keep your identity as
stay
a
on
band.
your lane. Stay on your lane.
That's right.
But it's funny, when we made the last record, it's funny, we were like, what are we doing? And we proposed, I don't really remember how it happened, but I was like, you know what, let's just make a Simple Plan record. And everybody was like, well, that's kind of too easy. But no, it's not. Making a good Simple Plan record, how can you make a better song? How can you make it more interesting, but still kind of pay tribute to the first two albums that kind of defined what the band is? That's what we did. And I hope that we will have the insight to keep doing that.
Yes.
You don't want to be like AC/DC, where every record is the same.
That's right.
You know what? I would have loved to have, hooks that are so big. Great music, but you want to keep it interesting, but still remain sort of the, in your lane again, in your genre.
That's right. Yes. Let me ask you something. How is it like to be touring when you're older? I guess you guys all have families now and everything. How do you manage that? Like being, having your own family with being away for so long with these long tours and everything. Is it very hard, or are you used to this?
Dude, it's a fucking nightmare. Holy shit, it's complicated.
Right?
Well, it is really, really hard. I love touring. I still think it's a gift that I have, And it's a selfish thing to me too. Like, I get to be just, a musician on the road. It's so easy in comparison to being home and having kids like, Dad, drive me around here. Dad, I need money for this. Dad, I want that. That's the hard job. Going on the road is so easy. I'm like, peace out. I'm out. But it's hard because you miss things, and obviously I have to, like, I'm a single dad, I'm single, so it's kind of hard to organize my family so it works.
Right.
Luckily enough, I've been doing this for long enough that I can make it work, you know.
Yeah.
But and my kids are a bit older too, so it makes sense, you know. But it is difficult for sure. But I'm looking forward. Like tomorrow, I'm leaving for Nîmes in France, you know, and dude, it's gonna be 2 weeks of just pure me time, you know, and playing music every day. It's exciting. I love it. I think it's a great gift. And to be fair, I think my kids appreciate it too. You know, like obviously they're like, Dad, fuck off, you know, but
it's that age, right? It's that age.
Sure. But I think they also appreciate the fact that I'm still doing what I love. I come back sort of energized and very happy. And you don't want a dad that's sort of a has-been, you know, like a frustrated person who's not able to do what they love in life. You want a dad that's fulfilled and happy, and that's what I am, you know. So I try to balance all my lives, you know. I have like different lives, and I do my best, you know. It's challenging, but I get to play music, you know, for a living. That's pretty damn cool, you know.
Oh yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Man, let's talk guitars. I wanna ask you about guitars because I saw you. For instance, I've seen you use this telly with humbuckers and this other guitar that you used to play your solo back in September. And I don't remember the name of Aristides.
Aristides, yeah.
Okay, that one. Tell me a little bit about your guitars, if you don't mind.
Sure. I mean, I've been a Fender guy, like, you know, from the early days. You know how it is. Like people don't mention it. They don't understand. You know, whenever people tell guitar players, say the best guitar is, the next question you should ask that person is, what was your first real guitar? And 99% of the time, it was that. So say you talk to a Les Paul guy, you know, that person, you ask him, what was your real first? It's going to be a Les Paul. A Strat. It was a Strat, you know. What was your idol? Jimmy Page. You're a Les Paul guy. Your idol was Stevie Ray Vaughan. You're a Strat guy. So, you know, the guys that I loved when I was younger were playing Strats, you know. And at some point, there were so many Strats, and it was sort of a 80-ish thing in reaction to, and when I started the band, I was playing Strat with humbuckers at the bridge.
Okay.
And I was kind of wanting to do something a bit different. So I'm like, let's do a telly with a humbucker at the bridge. And it's funny because other bands would be like, dude, just play a Les Paul. It's pretty much the same thing. I'm like, no, there's something about the tension of the strings, the scale length. It's different. It's just, you know. Yeah. And to me, stability was always, you know, sort of the G string problem, you know, where.
Oh, yeah, with the Les Paul. That's
with the Les Paul, you know. And I know players now that just told me, you know what, you're playing a too hard pick. That's the reason, you know, like, shit, maybe you're right, you know, but there are workarounds that people know. But yeah, I love tellies. I love Strats. And I've got a bunch of them. I got a really cool collection, you know, but the main one that I always play, it's been one that kind of, I don't find it very sexy. It's sort of a black telly, you know, like kind of normal, but it's the best sounding telly you've ever heard. Because it's played so much.
Mm-hmm.
So every time, I even have a copy of it, like a perfect copy, a replica of it.
Okay.
And it sounds like shit. It's just not as good, you know? The other one vibrates, it's alive. You play with it and it sustains, you know, like for hours. It's just such a good guitar because it resonated. I really believe that wood gets better with time as it resonates.
Mm-hmm.
And I love shred guitars too. I love guitars that are more modern. The Aristides is definitely a guitar that I love.
Okay.
You know, I love the headless thing. I think it's like the geek beyond, like, you know, the Apple's, the Strandbergs are just sick guitars, you know. It's almost as if it's unfair to play. They're so easy to play buttery. And so you know what? On my lazy days, I love playing those. And once in a while, you have to pick up a Les Paul, a 335. You have to. You know, and they just work. So I'm sort of like, you know, I dabble around with all that stuff. And in the studio, I'll just pick up the guitar that just works the part. It has to be for the part, you know. And oftentimes, I love 335s that sound like tellies. It's so weird.
Nice.
I like, you know, 335s that cut through.
Yeah.
I love Les Pauls that sound like tellies. So it's kind of funny. I often come back to that, you know. I just find a telly very much associated with the country world.
Yeah.
So, which is cool. but it's not the right aesthetic. So I always try to tweak it a little bit for my band, you know. I was kind of stoked when I saw John 5 come up with the crazy ghost guitar. You know, I was
yeah,
like,
the white one,
yeah.
right?
I thought
Yes.
that was kind of cool, you know. So I do that too, you know. I do like reverse headstocks, you know. I do like crazy pick guards and all that stuff. So yeah, I think it's fun. That's what guitars are all about. It's fun, like kind of making them your own, you know, and changing the bridge on them. You know, where you're talking about bridges, you know, on the Strats. I love Floyd Roses,
Okay.
but there's such a pain when you play them live. You break a string, you're done. It's
Yeah.
over, you know. And
That's
changing
right.
the strings takes 4 hours. It's a good design in the studio. Live, I mean, the 80s guys have done it for all that time, but I just can't do it. So I thought, you know, your bridges were sort of like the coolest. You could, you know, shake it, kill it, and still, you know, have the same tone, the same kind of feel. So I thought that was a really good solution, you know, you guys came up with. I think it's really, really wise.
Man, and we're so happy to, you know, to have you. We're honored to have you in the family, you know, in the Vegatron family as one of our artists. And honestly, for us, this is mission accomplished. You know, having someone like you playing our bridges, you know, that's it makes us very, very proud. You know, so
And it's so cool because it works, you know. It's just oftentimes the best ideas are sort of you know, like there's a problem and someone finds a smart solution for it.
That's
and
right.
to get the props, you know, that's one of those situations where you're like, really? That should have been that way from the start, you know? But it's a cool, very, very cool solution. And I love it because it allows me to play live and actually, you know, do crazy dive bombs and just do like, you know, taking chords. To me, it's important, you know, like to be expressive with the guitar at all costs, you know.
Yeah.
And the truth too is the guitar is out of tune. Like that's the reality. So if you're playing plastic 12th fret and you're say you're playing in D and the other guy's like playing an F sharp, you're kind of screwed if like you're not going to have the same F sharp. You're just not going to have it.
Yeah.
So you shake it a little bit
And you're
then
good.
it disappears and you're good. That's what singers do. They do it all the time.
Oh yeah. That's the vibrato. It's there for a reason, right?
Sure, it's expressive, but it's always a way again to fake it until you make it.
That's right, man. Well, it's awesome, Jeff, man. I mean, I just wanted to thank you for being here, for having this conversation with us.
Thanks for having me, man.
And let me ask you one last thing. So you tell me you're going tomorrow, right? You're going back on tour. You guys are going to France. Any other gigs? Any chance you guys are coming back to Spain anytime soon?
Unfortunately, not on this run, but we are coming back with a really cool tour in the fall. I can't say what it is yet, but it's a really cool tour.
Okay, cool.
So this is sort of a teaser. You know, we're doing the festival season, which is the best season. Not doing Spain, unfortunately. I don't know why it didn't work out. We're doing 2 weeks in Europe, and we are going to announce during that tour what we're doing in the spring, in the fall. It's a really, really fun tour across Europe.
Okay.
Which will lead us to Spain.
Awesome.
But in the meantime, we're doing the summer festivals. We're doing a tour in the US too. We're actually bringing Sum 41 and the Offspring. We're opening for the Offspring, but it's sort of a tour that we put together because the three bands have been touring since the pandemic in different forms, you know, together, separately and not. So we felt like, let's make this crazy festivals for, you know, people that love that genre. So we're doing that, you know, all across the US. And we just learned that Sum 41 is actually folding it, you know.
They're splitting.
They're going to stop.
For good. Yeah.
So everybody's stoked, you know, that they're actually finally getting to see them one last time, but in such a cool context. So it's going to be a great summer of touring. I'm taking a holiday in Italy this summer. It's just going to be sick. It's going to be a really, really fun time.
Man, wonderful. I look forward to seeing you guys again, you know.
Absolutely. Make sure to come say hi.
Oh yeah, I will for sure, because I had a blast last time, and I'm sure I will the next time as well. So, man, thank you again for being here, and we're gonna leave it here. So this has been Guitar Chat today. So till the next one, be safe, be happy, and play a lot your guitar. See you next one.
Thanks, man. Peace.